What is going on, y'all? This is day 42 of me scaling my AI agency from $0 to $100,000. In today's video, I'm going to go over exactly what I did today. We're at 6K cash collected. We just started running our ads again. And I'm also going to go into my exact AI tech stack that you should be using as a founder or early business owner here in 2026. So put this video into quick speed and let's jump right into what we did today. So today we did a couple of things from a high level. It was a very good day. We got our comms agent done. This is for client communications and prospect communications. So that way we can kind of just yap into it. And then we're going to be able to get an output structured exactly how we need to respond. It's trained on our entire pipeline. It knows exactly where our guys are at and what things look like from a high level. We also did a financial audit and also put together a financial plan for ourselves, specifically within the business. Where are we trying to get at financially here in 2026? Where are we trying to start putting our investments and the money that we start making from this agency? How are we going to start structuring everything so we're at a very healthy and clean financial standpoint? And we also did a client check-in after we built that comms agent. We're about to send him over his client OS dashboard. And then I'm going to get into the sales process. We're going to do a deep optimization. I wanted to do like the marketing process, but I kind of realized like, hey, it's probably not ideal to put that into speed right now, just solely because from a marketing standpoint, it's like we have the ads running. We shouldn't really worry about marketing and like the YouTube organic right now. We should be really heavily focused on the sales process. So I'm going to get into like deep optimization. I'm not going to get through the whole process tonight. It's going to be a main focus again for tomorrow. Client comm system. We kind of want to build that out and kind of build some zaps and like automated client communications. Like, hey, here's how many leads we got today. Here's how much you spent on ads, all that kind of thing. Just some automated reminders that they can get. So that way they feel kind of brought up to speed with where they're at currently in the biz. And then we were going to do a no close follow up. We're going to get that done tomorrow. And then I'm also building out a personal communication agent just for more personal brand related stuff. Same concept there. I can kind of just yap into AI, what I want to say, and it can just write out shit for me. I'm not a big typer. I'm very built into like the yapping workflow. So I like voice messages a lot, but I also like text messages and stuff as well. It's simpler to communicate for a lot of people. So this is kind of just simplifying that SMS process for me and also that like DM process. So that's kind of where we're at today. Let's jump right into some insights from today. First one is you got to know your numbers, brother. You got to know your numbers and you got to know your numbers like you depend on it. I feel like a lot of business people do not talk about this specifically enough. You need to know your numbers. You need to know how much it costs you to book a call, how much it costs you to acquire a customer. And once you know those numbers, especially how much it costs you to actually service a customer from time and labor perspectives and also cost of goods sold, then you can figure out, okay, exactly how much you need to spend to scale, right? And this is why I love paid acquisition and paid traffic so much, because you can actually actively see all the data. Like the data is already there. Facebook already gives you the data. It's all dialed in from a high level. Like paid acquisition and also cold calling and like cold traffic, if you set it up correctly, you can track it just as well. Like, okay, how many dials do I need to make to get someone on the phone? Okay, how many conversations do I need to have to book a meeting? And then how many meetings do I have to get a client, right? Once you know those numbers, you can figure out how much input you need to put into the machine, as in dollars or time, depending on what system you're looking at working with. And then you can just scale vertically. And that's like the whole key concept behind knowing your numbers. Because if you know your numbers, you know how to scale. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know how to scale. And obviously, if you don't have proof of concept, you have to build up that pipeline and understand your numbers and actually put in the work to get those numbers. But once you get those numbers and you have enough data, like 30, 60 days worth of data to actually back that up, then you can eventually start scaling up, rising up the ladder and be like, okay, this is exactly how much volume or input I need to put in to get that desired result. Let's say I want to hit 100K a month. This is exactly what I need to do to get to that point. So I'm going to go into my AI tech stack. This is the exact tech stack that I use on a daily basis. And I believe that every founder and or person should be using this. There's a lot of noise out there when it comes to AI. The first AI that I use on a consistent basis is Gemini 3.1. It is more so my daily LLM. This is included with the Google Workspace subscription. Very cost effective. It gets you so much, 2 terabytes of Google storage. You can get domains as well. Like it's just so beneficial from a high level. So use Gemini 3.1. It's more for daily LLM biz. Like I don't want to waste Claude credits right now because we're not on like the expensive version of Claude. So that's why I have Gemini more so as like the daily LLM. It's what I'm using to communicate super consistently throughout the day when it comes to business related stuff. So Gemini is a super huge model. I love the a million context token window. So you can feed it a lot of information. It remembers a lot of stuff across chats and it's just by far the best bang for your buck model. Google is crushing it with this. And then I use ChatGPT for free. I'm on the free plan with ChatGPT. I don't use it very much, but it's more so my LLM of choice for more personal and general use. Like if I have questions about my health, if I have general questions about different things in my life, I've been using it for like 2+ years now. So it has a lot of context on me from a personal perspective. So I use ChatGPT, free tier, not paying for it in any way. I don't think you really need to pay for it because I'm not using it consistently, right? It'd be different if I was using it like I was Gemini, but I don't like to use ChatGPT quite often for business related things because it has a very small context window. So that is why I use it more for personal and general use. It's a great LLM to have. I think it's just better, more so from a conversational standpoint. It's just an LLM for the people in a sense. I guess a lot of people can say Grok is like that, but I think Gemini is good for like just general purpose. It's getting better when it comes to like personal communication and just like more like it just more kind of picks up on your aneurysms and like how you speak and stuff and like what gets you to communicate a specific way. But ChatGPT for me has been like the bang for your buck, the best one when it comes to actually communicating consistently. So I just really love it for personal use cases. I'm not using it, not paying for it in any other way, but I'm just using it personally a couple times a day. Nothing crazy there. And then Claude and Claude Code, this is my biggest one. We're on the $20 a month plan right now. So usage and credits has been something we're kind of trying to bottleneck. I'm trying to scale up to the Pro Max. I think it's the Max plan, which is it's either the Max or the Super Max. I want to pay the $200 a month and just primarily use Claude and Claude Code for basically everything. I want to turn this into the sole environment for business communications and execution and processes. So we're using that. We have an AIOS built out. I have one built out personally for me as well. And then also business related, fulfillment related. We have multiple different AIOS systems. So we use it for business execution and processes. So anytime we're doing something really big, optimizing something really big, or we need to pull data and look at data or feed it data, we use Claude Code within that GitHub environment. We also use it for backend development as well. If we're building apps or if we're building websites, landing pages, it's also what we use to produce our landing pages as well. So great tool. I think it's the LLM of choice. It's leading the race right now for good reason. And I want to put more time into this eventually once we can get cash flow more stabilized so we can start putting more money into Claude Code and make that the LLM of choice and the environment of choice when it comes to business execution. So that's the only other LLM I'm paying for. And then we have Manus and Grok. So Manus is really good for general research. It's kind of like an agent, scrapes the web. It can go do research for you. Very beneficial from an agent perspective. I use it more so for market research or just simple research. If I'm looking into something specific business related, maybe it's something, life related, whatever it is, right? I use Manus. I think it's a really great research tool. Grok, on the other hand, since it's directly tied into a social media platform, it's really good for public sentiment and also news, right? And also insight into financial markets and things of that nature, what people are saying, different public events and public circumstances. Grok is really good for it. So I like to use Grok for public sentiment if I'm trying to figure out how people feel about a specific thing and things of that nature. I think Grok is really good because it has a huge data source just sitting there from X, right? Like it's just got so much data just chilling there. So two great tools for research and just expanding your knowledge and figuring out what works and what doesn't. I'm gonna use Notebook LM. This is free, included with that Google Workspace subscription I was telling you about. So this is for like deep data sets and learning. I use this specifically for, and you got to be careful here because like I pull from YouTube transcripts. You can literally paste YouTube links and have things just get uploaded right in there for you, which is super beneficial. But I like to use this and try to go into Gemini first as it has such a huge context. I'm like, hey, Gemini already knows my offer. It knows my business situation and context. So it's able to just synthesize that giant YouTube transcript. Let's say it was about sales and make it highly relevant for my position. And then I would go feed that into Notebook LM. Notebook LM is really good if you're trying to optimize a specific thing or just have a lot of data sets in one place to actually get good insight from your data, right? If you put all your data and your metrics from you running ads over the past 12 months, Notebook LM can literally interact with your data. It's literally like a source that you can use to interact with your data, plug your data into. It's super beneficial. I also like using it for learning. You can generate podcasts, and there's also a really good slide deck and pitch deck feature. So what we've been doing is, and what we're potentially going to be doing here moving forward, is we're going to be putting client information in there and make customized pitch decks for clients when we go on sales calls. So, and this is also going to be something I'm going to be using for YouTube, concepts I'm looking into, different insights I want to give. So that way I can build out YouTube slideshows and presentations as well for that as well. So it's just a super beneficial tool if you're trying to speed up the data gathering and like the data presentation process in general. Then Google AI Studio, they give you $300 free dollars in credits when you sign up for Google Cloud. So it's a really good tool. Use it for front-end dev. It's one of the best front-end tools that I've seen. Very cost-effective. You can one-shot a lot of really good things on the front end. Very bad for back-end dev. As far as I know, it's not good with back-end. I've tried it with back-end before. Maybe it's gotten better, but it's really good on the front-end side. I also use it for images. Banana Pro's built into this. It doesn't have like the watermark on there. And then also video generation too. Doesn't have the watermark on there if you use Google AI Studio natively there. A lot of cool tools to use from this. Definitely one of the best environments I've seen when it comes to actually using AI, and there's so much value from this, and it's free. So if you go to Google Cloud, you should be able to get $300 in free credits. I believe it's still an offer they're running. You don't have to pay anything. You just got to put your card on there, and then it only charges you on a usage base, not a monthly subscription base. So very beneficial tool, probably my favorite tool on this list, just because of how versatile it is and how it can be used for so many different things. And then Codex, this is an unpopular opinion. I really like Codex for deep backend dev work. I think the interface is a lot better than Claude. From an Opus 4.6 perspective, I think Codex High, like the best model they have, really competes with Opus 4.6 from a coding perspective. I personally think that it's better than Opus 4.6, and I really like it when it comes to deep backend dev work. They give you a really generous free tier. So that's sick. And then tomorrow's actions, we're going to finalize our sales ops, get in the marketing system, enhance backend follow-ups, and that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed day 42. Drop a comment down below, subscribe to follow the journey, and we'll see you guys in the next one.